Hey guys, it's been a long day, but don't fall asleep on me just yet. This evening, we're going to do a sleepy sounds meditation. So dim the lights and get cozy. It's time to unwind. This meditation that we're going to do is all from your bed. So get in your bed, lie down, pull the duvet up, get super cozy, add on extra blankets if you like. It's all going to be lying down as if you were just going to bed. So we're going to start by just getting into bed. I'm on my mat, but pretend this is your bed. And then we're going to lie back. I have a blanket here. You might have a really fluffy duvet. You might just have a nice blanket for yourself. And then we're going to lie back just like we're snuggling in for the night, except we're going to take just a little bit of time just to check out from the day, to unwind. You know, when we are just preparing for bed, and I do this myself, we often don't give ourselves this time to check out. We might be on our phones, we might be even having conversations. And it's really important to give ourselves this time where we can really settle our bodies, settle our minds, settle our energy. So as we come to bed, lying in bed just as if you were going to sleep, except we're just going to tune into all the sounds in the room. First, checking in with yourself. So start by reaching your arms overhead. You might stretch up through your hands and stretch down through your feet. You might even take a moment to roll out through your ankle joints, opening through your toes or pointing your toes. And you might even do the same with your hands. You might roll out through your wrists, spread your fingers. Sometimes I even like to make a fist with my hands and roll out through the wrists. It feels really good into the forearms as well. And if you're really enjoying this open stretch through the body, you might even cross opposite palms to opposite elbows, like you're making a frame around the top of your head, and just rest there for a moment. Noticing your breath. When we reach our arms overhead and we start to allow the sides of our body, the back of our body, into our bellies, into our lower back, and into our hips, we allow this breath to open. So just staying here for a few more moments. And take this time to notice how your breath is. What is the quality of your breathing? Do you notice that it is a little shallow, or can you really tune into the expansiveness of your breath and how rejuvenating that is for the body? And begin to deepen this breath. So consciously taking in fuller inhales, longer exhales. And we'll take one more breath like this. And then on your next exhale, we're going to start to bring our arms down by our sides. You can tuck yourself under your blanket, but for you to see what I am doing under the blanket, I'm just going to move mine out to the side just for a moment until we come to our resting space. So from here, I'm going to invite you to bend your knees, place the soles of your feet on the bed, and rest your palms on your lower belly. When we rest our palms on our lower belly, we start to tune into this really gentle breathing in our abdomen. So see with your hands on your belly, can you feel that slight movement as you breathe in, the belly rising? And as you breathe out, the belly relaxing. And then we're just going to take a moment to notice. So if you haven't already, go ahead and close your eyes and just take a moment to notice all the sounds around you. Is there any particular sound that you notice more than another? Maybe a sound from outside the building or a sound inside your home or in your room. Just taking a moment to notice where your attention is naturally drawn. And then as you notice this, we're going to start to focus our attention, focusing it so that we can relax our nervous system and begin to relax our mind. Sometimes, like all of these different sounds, it can be like there's so many different things calling for attention in our minds. So we're going to focus on the outside sounds and then begin to invite it in. So now begin to notice if you can hear anything that is in your building or even outside of your building. Sometimes, depending on where you live, you might hear sounds of nature outside, or if you're in a city, you might hear cars. And as you notice these sounds outside of the building, see if you can just be aware of them without having any opinions about them. Sometimes when I've done meditations like this, you might notice sounds from outside and be like, oh, maybe I wish those cars would stop, making noise, or, I wish something outside the building would stop making noise. But see if you can just notice these sounds and not have an opinion about them, not want them to change or not want them to be different or be softer, and just notice what they are. And then we're going to start to bring this in a little. So we're going to bring this awareness into your home. So coming from outside the home and then coming into your home. So can you notice some sounds that are in your home, but not necessarily in your room? It might be the sound of someone out in the kitchen or even a sound just right outside the bedroom. And again, see if you can notice this sound without judging it, without having an opinion about it, without desiring for it to change or be something different. Just noticing it. And now we're going to bring this into the room. So we're starting to invite our awareness more inwards, layer by layer. So now start to notice any sounds in your room. You might notice something even very subtle. Sometimes there's like a very slight hum from a light, or if you have a heater or an air conditioner. Sometimes it doesn't have to be a loud sound, just a really subtle sound. Maybe even a sound you've never noticed before. And now we're going to start to notice the sounds that are more in our immediate environment, meaning our bodies and around your body. So we've had our feet on the bed now. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start to very softly, you might either just slide your feet towards the end of the bed, or you can kind of scooch with your toes down towards the end of the bed. And as you do so, notice the sounds as your feet travel along the end of the bed that slight rustling in the covers. And then as your feet lengthen towards the end of the bed, start to again wiggle through your toes and notice those subtle sounds from the sheets or maybe even the mattress. These sounds are so soothing, that subtlety. Sometimes we don't often take the time to check in with these subtleties. Sometimes the mind gets attracted to big sounds or obvious sounds, but notice where that subtlety is almost unnoticeable. And then as you start to notice it, it becomes really interesting. And we're going to do the same with our hands now. So you might bring your arms down by your sides and again, maybe just moving your fingers underneath the covers and noticing those subtle sounds. And as you notice these subtle sounds, also notice your breathing. Has your breathing changed? Has your breathing begun to slow down? And can you keep this awareness of a nice big breath, keeping the breath full and open? And now again, just as we did at the beginning of our meditation, we're going to begin to draw our arms overhead, but this time go even slower than before. And notice as you start to draw your arms overhead, notice how your arms and your hands touch off of the covers. And then as you bring your arms overhead, this time we're going to start to very gently rock our head from side to side. So you might notice the sounds a little more differently here because you'll have your hair or your head or even your ears touching off of the pillow, noticing those sounds as well. And if you want to take a few moments to explore this for a bit longer, if you're enjoying the distinction between those sounds that are close to your ears around the pillow, and then noticing the sounds that are towards the end of the bed around your feet. And then as you continue to notice these sounds, I'll invite you to take 3 more full breaths. Inhaling it nice and big, feeling that expansion in the chest and the back of the body. And as you exhale, feeling that support in the back of your body, being supported by the bed. 2 more big, nice, full breaths on your own. And then on your second exhale, we're going to bring our arms down by our sides. And again, we're going to bring our palms to our lower belly. So resting our hands on our lower belly. This time, we're going to invite the awareness of our breath even further inward. So we're first going to notice the feeling and the sound of our breath as we breathe in, expanding into the belly, expanding into the torso, into the rib cage. And also notice that exhale as you breathe out. And as you begin to focus on this breath, this natural wave of breath, this natural rhythm that always flows through your body, see if you can go a little bit longer on your inhale and a little bit longer on your exhale. So really being finely tuned to how this breath is being experienced, starting in your lower belly and in your torso. Taking 3 more breaths here, focusing on this expansion in the belly, and release as you exhale. And then from here, we are going to invite our attention to our breath moving in our chest and in our rib cage. So you can either keep your hands on your belly if that feels comfortable, or you can bring your hands just over your chest so your fingertips are just below your collarbone. And then just focusing on how this breath feels as you expand into your lungs, into your upper back, into your shoulders. We often don't notice how much tension we are holding in our shoulders. So as you exhale, really allowing your shoulders to release. And taking 3 breaths here. Inhaling fully into the chest, into the upper back. Exhaling to feel that release. 2 more breaths. And taking 1 more breath on your own. And then from here, again, slowly, so that you really get to notice those subtle sounds as you draw your arms down by your sides. This is almost like a shavasana pose that we would do at the end of a physical yoga practice. But as we've just been tuning into the sounds and meditating in shavasana and variations of shavasana, taking your time as you bring your arms down by your sides, this time palms facing up. So you really are surrendering to that stillness, allowing your mind, your body, your energy to completely release. It's so important to take this time from the activity of our day just before going to sleep. Taking that time where you're not quite asleep yet, where you're in that space in between wakefulness and sleep. This is essentially what we call shavasana, that in between space. So, this time, as we come to our shavasana pose, receiving with our hands, releasing with our minds and our bodies. And this time, tuning into the sound of your breath as it moves in through your nose, touching off your throat. And this is the sound in yoga that we sometimes refer to as an Ujjayi breathing. It is a sound that can almost sound like a whisper or the sound of the ocean, and it is deeply soothing for your mind. As we brought our attention all the way into our bodies, into our awareness, and now focusing it on this really soothing breath in your nose and your throat. I almost like to think of this breath as like a brain massage. Because every time that you breathe in, focusing on that Ujjayi sound, that whisper, that ocean sound. And every time you breathe out, it's like you are cleansing your mind. So taking these next few moments for yourself. Breathing in, allowing that new oxygen to be invited towards your brain. And as you exhale, feeling that cleansing breath on the exhale. And as you continue to focus on this breathing, you might even become aware of the muscles in your face. Imagine that with every breath, all the muscles in your face are being able to relax, to be rejuvenated. We don't always notice if we are holding tension in our face muscles. So with this breath, with this prana, another word that we use for breath in yoga, noticing how this breath can help to relax your face muscles. You might even bring a slight smile to your face as you really tune into that subtle breath moving in and out of your body. And if you'd like to stay here for a few more moments and continue tuning into this breath. Sometimes as we get towards the end of this meditation, you might not even want to come out of the meditation. You just want to drift off into sleep because the body has had some time to unwind, to settle, to be really loved and looked after at the end of the day. So you are welcome to stay in this pose for a while longer if you like. And if anyone would like to come out of this pose, if you need to brush your teeth before you actually go to sleep, I will invite you now to bend your knees, rest the soles of your feet on the mattress. Slowly bring your hands to your belly or over to your heart. We'll pause here for a moment just to ground after our meditation, after going into that dreamy space. And then when you are ready, if you are coming out of your meditation, we'll take a moment to slowly drop our knees to one side of the bed, roll over onto our side. And just as we've been in our meditative space, you might just take a moment here to rest on your side. And then when you're ready, bringing yourself up to a seated position. And as we come to our seated position, coming to the edge of the bed, or if you just want to come to sit on the bed, wrapping the duvet around you, and just taking a moment to reflect on your meditation, your sleepy sounds meditation before either going to bed or getting a quick little snack before bed or brushing your teeth. And thank you very much for taking the time to unwind with me tonight.